Hello, welcome back to VenusBlood Frontier. I just came back from the gym. Well, I guess technically it's been about an hour or two actually. After I came back from the gym, as usual, I got to eat some food. And I think I told you guys about this game on the last episode, I believe. But I've been playing this game called A Mayan Bow, which is also on Steam. It's called like Summer Memories. It's a Nuki game, but man, I swear, some of these games on like arrow gaze and shit are actually pretty damn fun and quite weird, you know? It feels like nowadays when you play a game, it's not really innovative anymore, so when you play these random weird-ass games that are only in arrow gaze, it's just like, what the hell? Like, sure, the driving factor is the sex scenes and stuff like that, but the gameplay itself is not bad at all. It's pretty fun. But yeah, check the game out if you guys have time. It's called Summer Memories. I think it also came out like a sequel of the game called Winter Memories. But yeah. Nothing much really happened at the gym. I have been cutting, so my weight is going down. But then again, I do feel a lot lighter at the gym, you know? My lifts are still the same, but I've been feeling just a lot more lighter on my steps. Not as heavy. It could be placebo, I don't know. I only lose like 1 kilogram so far, so from 70 kilograms I'm now 69. Which I feel like is pretty good. What's the word I'm looking for? I'm making pretty good progress. I feel like going down about 1 pound or maybe half a pound every couple of weeks, or sorry, every week should be good enough for me. Like, it's a very slow cut, but I'm not really looking to cut like very massively because I don't want to lose the amount of muscle that I have. But okay, enough about that. Let's actually talk about the last episode recap. So in the last episode, nothing happened story-wise. Lots of gameplay, lots of H scenes, but other than that, nothing happened in terms of story. So we are still stuck with the Apocalypse, which I believe is their name. I actually do not like remember very well. So they haven't mentioned any part of the story at all ever since, like, you know, a week ago that I played this. So I hope I'm calling them right, which is called the Apocalypse. So we also finished off all of the Demon Realm Sisters, so Yorm, Fenrir, and Hel. All of them are gone, so only Ymir's Forcers are left. Which I think he only has stationed 5 areas. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, only 4? Okay. I guess the only place that he hasn't have control over is Valhalla. Which is okay. That makes sense considering, like I said, we just got Valhalla in the last episode. Or sorry, on the last chapter we got. So, I don't think I really need to do any healing whatsoever. Tilly, you are very expensive. 333. And I didn't even give you any sort of medallions to boost you up. Aaron is starting to lower the amount of magic he needs just because I'm using him. Like, I'm also grinding H here so that he levels up pretty quickly. God, only 171 for Algrimir is just insane, dude. The Fire Dragon, still nothing yet. I think I made the Fire Dragon Demu, right? Before. I could be wrong, though. The Dark Dragon. Yeah, other than the Fire Dragon, I don't think I'm gonna make anyone else. I legit think after I make the Fire Dragon, he's the only one I want to make. No one else seems to be very enticing. Range attack, equitable heal, boost squad, action boost. Range attack, ambush alert, ambush tactics, lightning blast, range null, and boost flying. I don't know. I don't feel like that's really all that impressive, sadly. I thought that Horus was pretty good back when I only thought about tier 4 units being very good. But now, not so much. Oh, I hope you guys didn't hear that. There was a motorcycle outside that was pretty loud. But yeah, so far I don't think there's anyone that I really want to make. Taking a look at their kit and stuff. Poison field, poison attack, counter amp. Yeah, I don't think so. Sadly, I can't make any of those gods. If only I can make this guy. Or this guy. Let's take a look at this guy. Even though he's a tier 2, let me actually take a look at what he got. Wide attack, lethal critical, dragon scales, ambush tactics, poison field. Actually not bad. Maybe these dragons The Dragon Diva. Boost Dragon 12 and group heal. I could make an all-dragon team, but I think that's like super expensive. And I'd rather actually like divide up the dragons so that they can be pretty useful on some of my weaker teams. So okay, we don't really need to take a look at, we don't really need to do anything for healing and stuff, so we're just gonna go attack. Full on brawn. So my main team is gonna go kill the Ymir team, which should be fairly easy. And everyone else should just demolish everyone. I don't think any of these guys stand a chance against my team. Like, I have no doubt. These guys are not that strong. Though I don't know about this guy, though. The Holy Knight is pretty annoying. Alright. I feel like we can take this group down quite easily. I don't know. I'm so confident I'm actually not even gonna use a skill. Okay, good job, Aaron. H is still very low leveled, but is doing pretty good. Wow, I didn't heal up. Oh, because I changed up Nadia for Aaron. Right. I don't have as much group heal anymore. Okay, that guy survived. Annoying. This is the third team, I think. Oh, what the fuck, guys? Turka's team kinda sucks. I think we only beat 4. 1, 2, 3... Wow, we didn't even beat the 4th one. I need to do something about Turka's team. She doesn't have enough firepower. Even though I boost her stuff. Okay, this is not a story scene, this is an Odin scene. Odin, what are you doing here? Loki searched for Odin while the airship was flying at low altitude. He found her on the deck, gazing off at the scenery. God, you talk so slow, Odin. Why can't you talk as fast as you do on those H scenes, dude? So Odin said, but Loki didn't entirely understand. I'm pretty sure you can fly. What was stopping you from looking down at the city from the sky? Do you not like Do you not like have griffins or something? Like, you can probably have someone like a Pegasus or something, like the Gale Ridders that Turka has. Really? I thought that gods do that, you know? Odin pouted at Loki. She looked more like a child than a goddess. She stood above all else, above all as the chief god. Yet she was often emotional. Between her appearance and her bountiful expressiveness, the truth about Odin had constantly shocked Loki ever since she joined. Is that right? Sorry, but I can't fly, so I wouldn't know how it feels. Not really. You just came, like, out of nowhere. No, nothing in particular. If anything, I just wanted to see you, I suppose. What the fuck? That wasn't really what I meant, but okay. I really wish these scenes do not actually trigger when I have her clearly on the training section of the, you know, of the mingle thing. It's so weird. Last time after we had the anal injection thing, she was actually, you know, somewhat crying. This is so awkward. I probably, I don't know, I'm just guessing, but I do think maybe the true timeline or the true route of this game is actually the law route. But it's just so weird though. Because Loki, like, from the prologue, it seems like he would do anything in his power to actually make these girls obey him with no condition. But these scenes seems like they're supposed to be canon, right? Because they trigger whether or not I have the training or the mingle option turned on. So it's actually annoying me because it's so contrasting what their personality or what their what's the word I'm looking for? What their reaction was to the scene. It feels like it's not all there. So weird. Your delusions don't give you the right to call me a pervert. You're like a bomb waiting to go off. I have to check on you eventually to ease my anxiety. Nothing more than that. This probably gives her an affection. I actually didn't want her to be smug. I really did not want, you know, I thought that Loki was just seeing her and then, I don't know. God, I didn't want him to actually phrase it like that when I said no, I didn't mean anything particular by showing up and talking to her. I'd have nothing to gain from that lie. Anyway, it sounds like you don't think anyone should be attracted to you. Isn't that sad? That's surprising. You didn't always look like this. Loki assumed goddesses had a fixed appearance, but apparently it could change depending on their divine energy. We already know this actually, Loki. I forgot whether or not this was mentioned on the first H scene with Odin, but, you know, the reason why she was very susceptible to, like, pleasure and stuff like that was because this body is something she's not accustomed to. Whenever you get the chance, I'd love to see it. That's too bad. I'll have to make do with this body for a while then. Loki lightly rubbed Odin's back. It's just some light touching. Nothing special. Loki's mouth teasing angered Odin so much that she left the deck. Let's see, that probably increased her affection. Yeah, 2 affection. Didn't even want that, really. But whatever. Okay, 1 unit is going to attack us. This is... I believe this is Hell's unit. But, you know, she's not here. So weak. 2 defenders, maybe 3. And then these guys are going to attack, and we should be able to get it. This team, I mean, or sorry, this territory. Let me take a look at the dragon real quick. No dice. So we're going to attack that. I really do think we just need these 2. Or maybe, I don't know, I feel like this is good enough. Really. Just because one of them are very... Yeah, these guys are weakened. This guy has parry, but my second team should have a lot of range attackers. So I'm gonna go kill these ones. Yeah, I don't even need to think about it. I think we got Ymir down pat. I think once I got Augurmir, this just got like super easy. Wow, what the hell? 69 damage only? What happened there? Oh, it's the Holy Knight guy. But he's susceptible to dots. Sorry, my dude. You are still dying, my friend. I got overconfident. I'm gonna have to reload. Can't believe they didn't kill it. So only 3 units on the defending team. So stupid. Come on, guys. And this is why I have saves on every turn. I actually forgot to save after that scene. Okay, this time 3 attacks. Everyone defend. Can't believe that just happened. These guys, come on, man. Second and third team are not as good. Maybe I actually should put Augurmir on the second and third team. I don't know, though. I feel like I shouldn't. Jeez, that is so much damage. Now you kill it! Wow, this RNG. Of course, they actually killed it once I get 3 people to attack. Okay, we got one of your territories, Ymir. Still nothing? Jeez. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These guys are very weak. Maybe 2 units on defense should be good. Oh, I can actually change the attacking thing here. I didn't realize. That's why I keep going to the plan sometimes. Or maybe I did realize, but I keep forgetting. Second area I'm gonna attack is probably this one, since this one has gold plus 1000. Ymir's not defending that one. Interesting. Huh. I thought that Ymir was actually here somewhere, right? He should have been in each of the enemy territory. Was he not? He's gone. Either he's gone or I wasn't paying attention. I could have sworn he was actually in these territories. Huh. That's interesting. Well, either way, we are going to attack. Come on, Aaron. Yeah, these guys are dead. Jeez. These parry guys are annoying. That's probably what made them survive that attack. Okay, we at least killed 3 of those people. And that was the defending team. 2 2 invaders. 1, 2. Oh, what the? 4? Okay. And it didn't seem like they spawned any units. Or they didn't, take any units from those spawn points. Interesting. So I guess they are trying to take our territories. Let's see, which is the weaker out of the 2? This one's fairly strong. So I'm gonna try to do 4-4. No, I can't even do 4. Let's see if I can make the dragon. No, I think I just... Oh, I think I just messed up. Yeah, I think I just missed it. Hate when that happens. The big Oni. Turka's team really needs someone that can actually deal massive amounts of damage. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go destroy these ones with the serpents. So let's see. Wouldn't mind healing you guys. Nadia got hit pretty badly. You too, Evil Rider. Tilly, can you do something? I could put you in Turka's team to buff up their offenses. Let's see Turka's team. The Chariot, 69. Mikey B. The Gale Ritter. Boost God, so that's for boosting Turka. You have Boost God too, so you're pretty good. Sap Flying, Boost Flying. Boost Flying is boosting Turka, so literally this team is only about Turka doing damage. This guy is considered flying too, so that's pretty good. Come on, Tilly. You cost so much though. Okay, let's do this. We should get this. I hope. 3 defense, 4 attack, I think. Yeah, I think this is going to be how we tackle this. For sure, I'm going to destroy 1. But I don't know if, maybe I should have done 3, sorry, 3 attack and 4 defense. Charmed, that's okay. We got females this time that actually do damage. And also Augermere, which probably doesn't count as male. Yeah, I should have done 3. That is overkill. Kill it? No. Oh, they are gonna take it. That's annoying. What the? Huh? My attacking team actually attacked that team too. That's interesting. I thought that attack wouldn't... Like, people in the attacking team wouldn't attack in the defending team. Huh. I guess I don't know how this works. 2 enemy territories being attacked. We should be fine. 3 attack. 4 defense. No, I think this should be good. Kind of want to try to get their territory quickly. And they're sending out units now, as you can see, which is good. Which makes me think I actually only need 3 now, so everyone else can defend. Maybe if my main team is actually attacking an attacking team, everyone is set into defense position. I actually didn't realize that. But yeah, those guys should be dealt with quite easily while I destroy this one. I'm surprised we still don't have any scenes yet. This is very interesting. I'll probably do an 8 scene after this one. Wow, these guys are getting demolished. And nothing actually stops the dots. Yup. He probably got lucky with the parries there. Come on, kill it. I only got 3 units. Shit. Okay, I don't think I have any more units, right? Okay, I do. Thank you. And thankfully, those guys are super weak. Okay, there we go. So, are we winning or what's gonna happen? They only got 3 territories left. They have a lot of units still, but I feel like we're very close to finishing off this chapter. Yeah, there we go. The Apocalypse. So I was correct. The Apocalypse were trembling with terror. Not toward their messiah, but toward the goddesses they had abandoned. The blind lambs who lost sight of their fate would not be treated by the creator of Yggdrasil with any tolerance. She raised Gungnir. Beams of light rained down, bringing the humans unavoidable despair. Even Ymir's followers mostly lost their will to fight when confronted with Odin. They groveled on the ground. Gungnir killed only the humans who continued to resist, bringing order to the battlefield. It wasn't even a war anymore. It was a goddess's purge of the people of Yggdrasil. Odin's doing about as well as expected. The Sinmara avoided the shining rain as it headed straight for the enemy's base. They had not only the Apocalypse, but reinforcements from the Imperial Army on their side. They preach about escaping the final war between goddesses and demons, so their fighting alongside a demon's army was blatantly contradictory. But pointing that out now wouldn't change anything. Ymir was using his cult of Yggdrasil citizens as his personal soldiers. Finishing this war with him meant Loki had to attack their base. He had Thor hold back the Imperial Army, but against the 3 princesses, he couldn't imagine she'd last forever. I guess really, the story wanted me to actually attack Ymir first before attacking, you know, Hel, Fenrir, and Yorm, which I clearly did not do. Looking at their troop size or their troops individually, Hel's, Yorm's, and Fenrir's units are stronger, but they have a lot more units, right? So I really just want them to send out people in their defending team to attack before I actually attack Ymir's forces. In the long run, I think this actually benefits me in terms of just how many turns I need to beat them up. It was her idea. Just let her handle it. The job of restraining the swarms of cultists was taken by Odin. For a goddess, they were to be protected. They fed in the faith of humans to produce miracles, so they could be called codependent beings. Therefore, if the goddesses brought harm to the people of Yggdrasil, they spent large amounts of divine energy to do it, but those rules didn't apply to Odin, as Loki had only just learned from her. Only the chief god had the ability to purge and enact judgment upon her people. She could use divine energy against the cultists thanks to that secret. Turka, you don't need to think about it. Just focus on beating Ymir. They reached the sky above the mountain holding the Apocalypse's base. They nodded to each other, and then Loki prepared to descend. Yeah, what I wish they would do if they actually did not even change these scenes, right? For all of the Dark Goddesses, was that they actually locked us from actually getting the Dark Goddess before X chapter. Because it feels awkward, I feel. I don't know, I feel like they could have done something better in terms of just how they manage these Dark Goddesses and whatnot. It's a minor complaint though. This is only a complaint because, you know, I'm playing an evil route, right? And so far, these goddesses don't seem all that evil in the main route, or in the main story. Right. Take care of that. Group battles are where your divine gear shines the brightest. From the surface came the booms of anti-air cannons. Once Loki and Turka stepped onto the deck, the Sinmara began to race out of range of the cannon fire while dropping depth charges. There were more enemies on the mountain than they could exterminate, but it served to give them some support. You better not drop me. Freya jumped over the handrail and flung herself off. Loki and Turka followed, leaping from the sky. Right as they began their descent, the Sinmara turned around and retreated. They were accompanied only by Turka's Gale Ridders, but only because they were mobile enough for hit-and-run tactics. The clash between the brunt of their forces was already underway. The question now was whether the Imperial Army would interfere before Loki and Turka could take down Ymir. They're here? They were approached by what seemed to be the Apocalypse base's guards. Driving them off would be simple, but they had little time to waste. This called for... Before Loki could deliver orders, Freya fired some arrows. They were from the divine gear called Brisingamen. God, probably butchered that. The arrows blew in the span of a single breath and pierced the enemy commander, and what seemed to be a few lieutenants. Freya's speech spread anguish through the soldiers like a wave. At last, the soldiers stood aside and opened a path for them. They did so at the orders of the commander Freya shot. Why are you saying this? You're a dark goddess, damn it! Oh, I really do feel like they should have just prevented me from getting the dark goddesses at this point. God damn it! This is bothering me. Turka consoled the self-derisive goddess. Meanwhile, Loki passed through the crowd. You're the commander? Do you know where your leader is? I'm hoping to save some time, if you could lead me to him. The man looked to Freya for guidance. When she nodded, he resolutely turned back toward Loki. To the charmed man, her nod was like a message from heaven. They followed him to a cavern in the side of the mountain. However, suddenly, the guy groaned with agony. I think this has something to do with Ymir's dark gear. It should be a dark gear that probably put a curse on the people that swore loyalty to him, right? Or, like I said, maybe it was some sort of mass hypnotism kind of thing. He held his chest and took a couple steps, only to spontaneously combust. The same thing that happened to our spies. No, the mass hypnotism thing doesn't work, so I guess, yeah, it's probably something more along the lines of, if you swore loyalty to him, it would give you some power, maybe even some regenerative healing ability, but you also cannot betray him, is probably the cost. They had no time to help before the man collapsed. He was burned to a crisp, so much so that his face became unrecognizable. A mere few seconds ago, there was life in the charred corpse. They spent a moment looking down at it with horror. Looks like we'll have to find Ymir ourselves. Alright, if you would. Freya nodded and focused her mind by closing her eyes. With the power of the dazzling light, they turned invisible. Now, the threat of being detected by enemy soldiers drastically decreased. We're entering Ymir's territory. There's no telling what traps might be waiting. They nodded to each other before cautiously setting foot in the dark cave. Meanwhile, on the outer rim of the floating continent, far too massive to be called a ship, the auditorium approached the scene of the fight, unbeknownst to all but a scarce few. It shoved giant floating boulders out of the way, large enough itself to be called an island. With each passing second, it drew closer to Yggdrasil. Yeah, we kinda knew that this guy was actually coming, so this is how he looks, huh? They were actually cliffhangering us or blueballing us when Surt was gonna come to Yggdrasil, but never actually shown his form. As Surt sat on the throne upon the stage, Minia looked up at him and gave her report. Surt ceased to hide behind the curtain. He rested his wrinkly face on his hand as he silently listened to his confidant. It had been centuries since he last came to the surface, but the hall in the middle of the auditorium was far from its light. So I assume that when people or when demons take the throne in the demon realm, they were gonna take the throne from Surt? But what? Does he take the throne, like, from the demon realm into his own battleship or something? I don't know what's going on here, because that seems to be what Minia was implying during the last time we got the scene with Surt. I think she was saying that she was afraid that the demons might usurp the throne. Minia's enthusiasm didn't seem to draw Surt's interest. He just nodded with aplomb. What the fuck is that word? Aplomb? Am I even saying that right? Not bothered by that, Minia saluted. Surt didn't even look at his secretary as she left. Instead, he closed his eyes and thought about the stage of the battle. As El stood atop a plateau and looked over the battlefield, Fenrir approached from behind. The Imperial army was in a struggle with Loki's forces. They were commanded by Thor, who they knew was trying to hold them back. If they wanted to support Ymir in the apocalypse, they had to deal with this quick. But the threat of Mjolnir forced their airships to advance with caution. The Imperial army had no choice but to fight on the ground and peel away the enemy defenses one layer at a time. That's when the report came from their reserve forces, shocking the princesses. They quickly tried to determine the truth, and it didn't seem to be misreported. Hel aggravatedly glared straight ahead. That's when Thor finished reorganizing her troops, and the wastelands were about to become the site of another attack.
は言わねえ。敵将の首の一つや二つあげてみせろ。
トールお姉ちゃん、あまり突出しないで。離れすぎると私のやられる方の効果範囲から外れるの忘れないでください。
あらら、女神が増えちゃってるわ。ねえ姉さん、イミル兄さんのことはもう諦めて兵を引いちゃわない？
何を言うフェンリル。
だってこれ以上兄さんに肩入れする理由はないしね。
Fenrir was right. Hel felt the same way, so she had no immediate response. Ymir's actions were suspicious in a mountain of ways. Whether helping him was worth sacrificing soldiers was a matter that Hel began to feel unsure about. The armies butted heads. Even now, more lives were being lost. The decision to retreat or not closed in on Hel. The dim cave was briefly lit by sparks. So, is this cave supposed to be that cave that was actually what I attacked? Which has all of their, like, you know, units? I think so, actually. I don't know why that was actually there before even Ymir, like, had the apocalypse waiting for him. So this is kind of awkward because that's actually where I attacked first. Just so that I can get the freaking resources back. A big claw scratched the rocky wall with an ear-piercing sound. And before the noise faded away, more sparks flew. Yorm seemed to be attacking an invisible opponent, flailing her claw everywhere. Eventually, she grazed her target. A blade clashed with a claw. Then Loki appeared and jumped backward. That's a surprise. I was concealing myself. When the camouflage fell away, Loki sincerely commended her. They spotted Yorm in a cavernous hallway and tried to pass by undetected, but that seemed to have ended in failure. Next to Loki, Turka and Freya stood on guard. Yorm swung Bifrost around and confidently shouted. While the other princesses kept their distance from Ymir, Yorm was such a simpleton that when he asked her to wait here for Loki, she readily accepted. Granted a chance at revenge, her eyes combatively shined. Honestly, I don't have time to deal with you, but... Loki sighed. Yorm's inability to feel might have given her some sort of sixth sense. Loki knew he couldn't escape, so he looked to Freya. Can you handle her? Doesn't seem to be a smart thing to do, considering Freya is more of a, you know, sniper. Why not put Turka here instead? That claw multiplies the pain of those it wounds. Be careful. Well, I guess that makes sense, but come on! There's no way Yorm is gonna be able to... Or, sorry. There's no way she's gonna make you do your range attack. Yes. That's why I'm asking you instead of Turka. Loki urged Turka to come with him to the hallway past Yorm. Then again, maybe she's stupid enough to actually not be able to close in the distance. I don't know, maybe Loki's actually right. Yorm tried to dash after Loki, but Freya fired an arrow right past her face. Loki and Turka took that chance to run. Freya's lightning-fast arrows forced Yorm to give up her pursuit. Yorm angrily flailed her claw. Loki listened to the sounds of battle behind him, but he didn't look back as he continued to run. They entered an open area in the cave. Loki sensed powerful dark energy and stopped in his tracks. He stood back to back with Turka and searched for the source of the energy. but a voice told him the location.
やあロキ、しばらくぶりだね。
There you are. An altar was set up in the back of the room, where Ymir proudly stood. Hope you guys didn't hear that. I was actually, like, trying to stretch. So my... like, chair was creaking a tiny bit. He wasn't particularly panicked, walking at a leisurely pace toward Loki and Turka. Sorry, but you'll get no sympathy from me. Ymir, let's get this over with.
そこの女神と二人がかりでかい？彼女とうまくいっているようで安心したよ、ロキ。
Loki sensed some deeper meaning in what Ymir said and raised an eyebrow. Because she looks like my mother. If that's all you have to shake me up, it sounds like you're finally backed into a corner.
似ている？おやおや、これは意外だね。君のことだから、とうに知っているものだと思っていたが。
Ymir exaggeratedly shrugged. Loki and Turka's bloodlust did nothing to break his smile.
いやはや、先入観というものは厄介なものだ。その女神とシンモラ殿が他人の空見だと思い込んでいたとはね。
So what, she's a copy or replica? Or, you know, a clone?
どういうことロキのお母さんと私に何の関係が
Turka, don't listen to him. Loki berated Turka, but he also bit his lip. What Ymir said had stoked unbridled curiosity, much to Loki's dismay. Even now, Ymir serenely smiled.
ロキが王位継承争いに名乗りを上げたのは幽閉されたシンモラ殿を助けるためでもあったね。でもロキ、君は不思議に思ったことはないかい？ロキのお父上が処刑されてからもう100年以上が経っている。だというのに君はシンモラ殿とただの一度の接見も許されなかった。幽閉されて100年、彼女がその間どのような生活をしていたか君は知っているかい？
Wait, what? Your father was executed over a century ago. Okay, I thought that was actually a decade ago. I was like, huh? The time doesn't match. I thought it was 10 years. Okay, it's 100 years. Ymir paused periodically as he spoke. His descriptive tone was like poison that slowly permeated Loki.
そう。もしシンモラ殿が最初から幽閉などされていなかったとしたら。
Shut up! I don't think this is right. Loki impulsively moved. I don't think Turka is Sinmara, to be honest. If you let Ymir talk anymore, the foundation of his being would crumble. That instinctual fear prompted him to attack. But his downward slash was so direct that Ymir easily deflected it. Ugh! Loki hit the rock wall and quietly groaned.
おやおや、ロキらしくないね。感情に身を任せるなんて。
Turka tried to run over, but Loki held up his hand to hold her back. Then stood up and readied his halberd again. Ymir, I'll figure out what you know after I capture you. But for now, I have bigger priorities. Yes, rescuing his mother was one of Loki's initial goals. But now, Loki was trying to obtain more than that. I wonder if this actually changes depending on the choice, you know, the Rain choice or the more moral choice. So, you know, like my choices made me get Bedrung. So I wonder if we didn't get Bedrung, Loki would actually have been a lot more distraught here. Seeking revenge for his century of abuse was a trivial matter compared to conquering the two worlds. Loki took a deep breath to calm himself down.
聞く耳持たないって顔だね。それなら私も本気でお相手しようか。
I kinda doubt it though. So far, I feel like the choices that I make haven't really made a difference just yet, other than gameplay-wise. So maybe, like I said, everything is gonna go different once we hit Chapter 7. Turka, let's do this!
分かったわ
Turka picked up on Loki's fighting spirit and charged her sword with divine energy. Quote-unquote divine energy, huh? To end this match quickly, they signaled to each other to simultaneously step forward. Ha!
さすが息もぴったりというわけか。 けどね。
Right before the two blades arrived, Ymir releases dark energy again.
銀ヌンガプ、我が敵を燃やし尽くせ。
Ymir's staff glowed red hot. The ground split and spewed pillars of flame. Loki and Turka swiftly dodged, but Ymir used that time to surround himself in fire and prepare to fight back.
君の炎と私の炎、勝っているのはどちらかな。
なんてすごい炎。あれじゃうかつに近づけない。
来ないのなら私から行かせてもらうよ。
Ymir set even more fires. The flames coiled like a snake and licked the rock walls, attacking Loki and Turka individually. Loki used Anvara and Turka used Nibelung, their dark and divine energy, putting out the fires. But Ymir never seemed phased, always having more in store. The flames are triggering fast! No, more importantly, what's this dark energy? All the dark energy so far had only been a fraction of Ymir's power. Loki began to realize. It was an amount no one man could possess. Loki could turn into Vedrung, so he could tell how dangerous Ymir was with considerable accuracy.
気づいたようだね、ロキ。君は女神たちを相手にしなきゃいけないんだ。私だって準備はするさ。終末教はそのために作り出した組織だ。その存在意義は女神の力を削ぐだけじゃない。ここまで言ったら、里い君ならわかるんじゃないかな。
You absorbed that energy from your followers. Ymir grinned and spread the roaring flames.
おめでとう。彼らの私を信じる心が力をくれる。一人一人では微々たるものでも、それが何万、何十万と集まれば、巨大な魔力を生み出すというわけだ。大勢の信徒の願いが今この杖に凝縮されているんだよ。
Ymir held up the gauntlet full of infinite energy. He stole the source of the goddess's power and made it his own. If that was possible, there could be no more efficient strategy. The speed at which he created a massive cult showed skill that could only be called prodigious. Turning the power of your human followers into dark energy. Just how complex a magic circle must that be?
いいやロキ。私は特別なことはしてないよ。術式などなくとも、人が私を求めれば、その心は私の力となる。
And I'm back. Sorry about that. Had to take a package. Can't believe there was a package during, like, you know, a battle sequence. Way to, like, ruin the immersion.
人間というのは貴重な資源だからね。生かさなくてはもったいないというものさ。
そんな、それではまるで。
女神と同じかな。
That was exactly what Turka was thinking, making her go quiet.
その通りさ。魔族も女神同様、人間の心を餌に力を得るのは変わらない。好みとする感情に違いこそあるけどね。
I thought that was only because, you know, of his dark gear.
このことは君たちも薄々と知っていたんじゃないのかな。
Ymir narrowed his eyes at them. The source of dark energy. Loki did have some latent suspicions. If goddesses acquired divine energy from faith, where did demons get dark energy from? Loki always used dark energy without much thought, but he suddenly felt something was unusual. Where was all this energy generated? It was an all too simple, fundamental question.
以前、帝国の地方領主に変わり者がいてね。魔族でありながら、人間に対し前世を敷いて、奴隷階級を撤廃しようとしたんだ。その結果、どうなったと思う？
Ymir suddenly changed the subject. Loki and Turka remained silent, so he went ahead and kept talking to amuse himself.
その領主は急激に衰えた。魔力が急激に減退し、原因不明の病に侵されて、ついには死んでしまったんだよ。奴隷解放に異を唱える勢力に毒殺されたという説が有力だけど、私はそれだけじゃないと思っている。彼は自分で自分の首を絞めたんじゃないかとね。
Freeing the humans cut off his dark energy supply. Is that it? Like a teacher to an excellent student, Ymir contently nodded. Loki had heard about this before. He figured the weak deserved to be weeded out and didn't think much of it, however.
ロキ、おじい様はこの事実を意図的に隠されている。魔族の力の本質を人間との奇妙な共生関係をね。
So what? Because he actually got faith? He was losing power? That's weird. Shouldn't it not bother him like at all? Because, you know, the source of dark energy is probably from people's dark emotions, right? So as long as there are still people that are feeling dark emotions, that guy should still be alive. Or maybe the faith actually counteracts the amount of dark energy he's receiving. In like Ymir's case here, I do feel like people doesn't really give him faith. It's more like a blind respect, or just to increase their own, you know, chances of getting to that so-called, what was the word? Like that so-called paradise that made humans and demons live without equal, or with equal, right? I don't know what he actually called it, I forgot. Something past Ragnarok or something, I don't know. It's been a week, so I forgot what he said. Turka couldn't help but ask, but Ymir kept faintly smiling and shook his head.
少し話が過ぎたようだね。話を聞き出すのは私を倒してからなんだろう。
Ymir pointed his staff at Loki and Turka. The flames that had been waiting aside began to act up again. Just standing there could almost evaporate all the moisture in your body from the heat wave that engulfed the cave. Turka, I'm going to take in Ymir's flames. Use the opportunity to hit him. The moment the flames surround us is when we start. Get ready. There was no time for further discussion. Loki gripped the key. Only with Vedrung's immense power and dark gear could he counter Ymir's boundless energy. Now! Loki shouted and stuck the key in his heart. At that instant, a heat as strong as the flames grew deep inside him. The key turned, as did his mind. A moment later, powerful energy coated him. Vedrung's muscles throbbed. I'm not even gonna try that. That's too hard for me, Vedrung. Sorry, man. Vedrung yelled and raised his halberd. His awakening meant the awakening of Anvara into a true dark gear, Varanard. Transformed into an avatar of avarice, the dark gear had the power to absorb dark and divine energy alike. Of course, the endless dark energy Ymir acquired from his followers was no exception. Vedrung began to devour the flames around him with incredible force. Trying to burn me is like splashing fish with water. You cozied up with those humans for their dark energy, and now I'm just gonna eat it all.
話には聞いていたが、これが君の奥の手か。なるほど、大したものだね。だけど、その魔相はともかく、君自身はどこまで膨大な魔力を受け止めていられるかな、ロキ。
It's Vedrung! Vedrung kept his halberd in the air and took a step forward. He single-handedly drew in Ymir's flames. The energy could have gone wild any second, but he suppressed it all. Vedrung alone surpassed Ymir's vigor, but his goal was to use his overflowing fighting spirit to draw his opponent's attention. The steam from their fierce clash obscured the fighter Loki had waiting for a surprise attack. That is so hard to say. There's probably should be a coma somewhere there. Maybe not, I don't know. That was actually very difficult to say for me. And then... And we're back, sorry about that, but my interface actually disconnected for a tiny bit. That's why I was like, huh? Why is Turka not saying anything? Man, so many immersion breaking stuff happening today's episode. Sorry guys. Ymir summoned more flames by shaking his staff, but that's when Turka struck. She whizzed like a bullet and attacked Ymir from the side. Her blade zipped from below toward his back, and as soon as she was in range, she slashed upward. Turka's unexpected speed didn't give Ymir a chance to react. She could have severed his good arm. If Ymir lost Ginnungagap, he would lose the ability to keep the overwhelming energy under control. But Turka's sword changed its trajectory. The flying slash intimidated Ymir, then swung down at the altar behind him. Part of the stone altar slid away and revealed a clean cut, followed by a bundle of papers fluttering in the air.
やはりここに隠してあったのね。聖域の名簿。いいえ、呪いの魔装。
まさか。
Ymir finally panicked. The book was split in half with the altar. A moment later, the pages were diced into countless shreds, sliced apart by Turka's wind arts. The book most likely couldn't be repaired. The Apocalypse names were recorded in the Holy Land's registry. That it was Ymir's other dark gear was a secret he kept from anyone, as far as he knew. The libraries in Glatz have quite a number of old documents, you see. I'd regret look into whether you could write down people's names to control their minds with any existing dark gear. Veterang turned back into Loki, who panted as he spoke. The transformation ended sooner than usual. Absorbing Ginnungagap's flames must have taken a considerable toll. But the flames did disperse at some point. Right when the book was destroyed, Ymir's dark energy rapidly returned to its normal quantity. It was a close call, but if anyone could be called the winner, it had to be Loki and Turka. This book was thought to be lost during Ragnarok, so I'm curious as to how it fell into your hands, but either way, the book was destroyed. Your curse over the humans should be out of fuel.
そこまで調べられていたとはね。
I hope the game actually didn't glitch out and there's supposed to be BGM here. I really hope not. Turka thrust her blade at Ymir, but he feebly put his hands up. To demonstrate his surrender, Ginnungagap's flames receded. His eyes expressed sincere deference. Your story about the regional lord was meant to confuse us, I assume.
ああ、そうさ。膨大な魔力量に疑問を抱かせないために。そして、杖の方に注意をそらすためにね。
Yeah, see, it doesn't make sense. Sure, maybe demons and goddesses are probably part of the same coin. But you know, I don't think that would probably make him die. Like I said, there would be like a lot of evil people in the world that are not those that actually worship him. The premise of demons feeding on the hearts of humans was probably true, but it didn't have such a dramatic effect. If what Ymir said were true, the fate the goddesses receive would always give them infinite energy. In reality, though, the goddesses weren't quite so invincible. Ymir's claims were truth mixed with lies, and his actual power was simply stolen from the humans with his cursed dark gear.
あなたは決してその場から動かずに、まるで祭壇を守るように戦っていたわ。
だから魔装は祭壇にあると踏んだのか。少し侮っていたかな。
Ymir tried to turn and look at Turka, but she mercilessly jabbed her blade toward his neck.
動かないで。
おっと、怖いな。その顔は、シンモラ殿の生き写しだ。
あなた、また。
He implied some connection between Turka and Sinmara. She tried to avoid falling into his hands by settling the matter aside, but it came creeping back, making questions brew in her mind.
気になるかい？君がどうやって生まれたのか、絶対神オーディンが何をしたのか。
オーディン様が何か知っているというの？
I don't know, it probably isn't Odin to be honest, considering Odin can be corrupted. I'm not spoiled by this, by the way. I know for a fact because we saw the opening of the game. So, if I was spoiled, it's by the game itself spoiling me, right? So she can be corrupted and become a dark goddess too. Turka, leave it for later. Getting the situation outside under control comes first. So I don't think it was actually Odin that made Turka, or if this is Sinmara into Turka, there's no way. Loki reprimanded Turka and approached Ymir. First, he would have to bind Ymir. A middling binding spell would just be broken. If he wanted to keep Ymir from moving, he'd make ropes of flame too.
残念だったね、ロキ。
Okay, it doesn't seem the BGM is glitching out because I hear that sound effect of some fire trickling in. Or, you know, crackling. Ymir's remark immediately gave Loki a bad feeling. Unearthing Lucasena sensed something, but he didn't know what. He stood in place and looked around warily. The first disturbance was a sudden gust of wind deep in the cave. It blew the altar's remains away. Flying in from behind it came an all too unexpected visitor. Hell! Ah! A whirlwind blasted him away. Next thing Loki knew, he was lying on the ground. He tried to stand up only for someone to stomp on his back, lift up his neck, and hold his sight blade against it. Mere moment after the wind blew, the eldest princess handily finished her job. Turka took a surprise attack from another intruder. A whip constricted her whole body, forcing her to drop her weapon. The heat wave from earlier stood in direct contrast to the freezing cold that robbed her of the energy to resist. The whip's wielder was, of course, Fenrir. Turka! Ugh! Why are you two here? Was the Imperial Army's advance too much for Thor's army to stop? Hell in Fenrir's presence meant that Thor must have been... And I'm back. Sorry about that, but yup, the glitch happened again. Or sorry, it actually didn't, it wasn't the glitch, but my interface disconnected again. And yeah, it seems it actually did glitch out the BGM, so I had to reload because everything was just dying, like the sound, there was nothing coming, and even my mic wasn't being picked out. So I had to, you know, you gotta do the good old unplug and replug trick, and everything seems to be doing correctly again. So let me actually, you know, make you guys hear this voice line again. I was wondering why it was so quiet. It felt very awkward for me. Ymir answered Loki's thoughts and smiled. He nonchalantly stood up straight again. Orders! What did he say? I just gave Helen orders to hurry up on down here, okay. Oh, so he knew that Surt was gonna come here. The leader of the Imperial Army pulled all the commanders off the battlefield, and yet he acted like it wasn't his problem. Loki sprawled on the ground, desperately trying to come up with a way out of this. There was presumably a hidden passage behind the altar that would be a shortcut out. He knew that much. Did Hel and Fenrir really ditch their army to run here? But why? According to Loki's investigation, Ymir and the three princesses didn't have the strongest alliance. The idea of them coming to the rescue didn't seem to add up. Hel would most definitely make maintaining order in her army a priority. And yet she and Fenrir were here for some reason. What's that? Ymir took something out of his pocket. Loki couldn't believe his eyes. It was an old scrap of paper. Written upon it were Hel, Fenrir, and Yorm's names. You got them too? Well, I knew that he still had that thing on his sprite, but I thought that they actually, you know, missed it. You know, I didn't think that there would actually be two of those dark gears. That's... I actually got bamboozled there. Interesting. The two princesses hadn't budged after capturing Loki and Turka. Ymir looked at them and proudly smirked. A bit too late, Loki noticed something off about them. They hadn't said a word since they arrived. They kind of willingly decided to serve Ymir, yet they silently obeyed. Their shady expression shared some features with the zealous apocalypse.
エルもフェンリルも私が呪いをかけていたとは夢にも思っていなかっただろうね。
When did you do it? When did you take control of them? Yorm is one thing, but I can't imagine Hel or Fenrir ever trusted you on this expedition.
そこに気づくか。やっぱりロキは賢いね。私が一番君を警戒していたゆえんだよ。
So I'm guessing he actually have done this maybe hundreds of years ago in preparation. Ymir looked down at the page with the princess's names and chuckled. His hand sent the page a fair bit of dark energy. He couldn't sustain the Dark Year's effects otherwise, presumably. They didn't worship him like his followers did. For a demon to control a demon, some other rules must have been in play.
察しの通り、ヘルたちの名を刻んだのは王位継承争いの始まりずっと以前だ。一度発動すれば警戒されるのは決まっているからね。呪いのことなどお首にも出さず、ずっと使い時を伺っていたのさ。
そんな以前から準備していたなんて。
Yeah, even I didn't expect this. I mean, once they came here, I kind of knew when he actually did it, but I did not expect him to actually do it, you know? You know no limits, evidently. Sometimes a man of extraordinary character, sometimes an innately talented ruler. Ymir wore many masks to sway people's hearts, taking their very lives into his possession. Ymir in the Holy Land's registry. Loki couldn't think of a worse combination.
君にベズルーグの力を使わせるまでが勝負だったよ。兵たちを呼ばずにいるのはそれなりの忍耐だった。けど、信徒の名簿を破ったことで君たちは完全に油断したね。勝利を確信した瞬間、それは最も警戒がおろそかになる瞬間でもある。
Ymir declared that Loki lost. He walked up to his cousin on the ground and searched through his pocket. When Ymir yanked the necklace from Loki's neck, he gave it an elated look. Give back the key!
そうはいかない。私が欲しかったのはこれなんだからね。
Why would you want that though? Doesn't only Loki have the keyhole? What?
魔王スルトの所望するユグドラシルの心臓だけど、それは大陸のどこを探しても見つからない。当然さ、ロキ。なぜなら
Really?
君はもうそれをとっくに持っているのだからね。
So he knew about it. Surt definitely knew about this. I tried, okay? I really suck at freaking yelling. Loki tried to stand up, but the puppeted Storm Princess held his head down. The sight's blade dug into his neck, letting blood seep. But Loki didn't even feel the pain compared to his unbridled fury. On the battlefield outside, the Apocalypse and the Imperial Army engaged in what could hardly be called a fight. They were completely scattered. Loki's army barely managed to maintain order, but the pandemonium before them made it hard to remain calm. The Apocalypse were freed from Ymir's curse and drained of their frenzied faith. The Imperial Army was missing Hel and Fenrir, and news of Dark Lord Surt's visit had spread. They each had their own reasons for the chaos, but the goddesses had no way to know them. Odin, Regret, and Thor used the commotion as a chance to meet up, but they couldn't decide where to go from there.
何にしてもこの混乱を鎮めるのが先だと思います。終末病の信徒たちを戦場の外に導きましょう。
おい、さっきまで戦ってた連中だぞ。それより今なら帝国の軍に痛手を与えられるだろ。
This doesn't make sense when you're a dark goddess, Regret. Thor isn't even a dark goddess and she's making more sense.
まあ待て二人とも。状況が動くまでうかつに動くのは危険じゃろ。ヤカ殿からの連絡も未だ入っておらぬしな。
The two antsy goddesses were brought together by the small, but certainly dignified chief god. She used so much divine energy against the Apocalypse that she seemed to be fatigued. But her confidence hadn't gone anywhere.
そうですね。ロキさんに連絡がないことには。
だけどこのまま手をこまねいていていいのかよ。
わらわたちの伺い知れぬところで何か大変なことが起こっているのは確かなようだな。
そのことですが、オーディン様。
Fina entered the bridge and drew the attention of the goddesses.
何か分かったのかな。たった今帝国連合の捕虜を尋問していたのですが、その者が聞き捨てならない情報を聞きました。
I thought that these guys would be actually dealing with Cert, but are you serious? They're actually not doing anything? Sure, the Apocalypse are, you know, disabled right now, but who cares? Why didn't they actually try to get to where Loki is? Wow, these guys are useless. The goddesses noticed the grave look on Fina's face and gulped.
この捕虜が本当に劇場が接近中だとのことです。現在真偽を探らせていますが、敵の混乱を考えるとあり得る事態。劇場？
So they're trying to get to Folk, but right now we are actually in Thor's territory of Thrudheim, if what the map of the gameplay seems to be suggesting, right? The cave should be in Thrudheim, so they're still pretty far away. They could have actually gone after Fenrir in Hell. God damn it, these guys are useless.
魔王スルトの打上カンパス。劇場がここに来るということは魔王スルト。スルトンがこの場に近づいていると申すか。
Odin at least put on an air of composure up to that point, but this news changed that. She and Surt's fates had been intertwined since the ancient days of Ragnarok. Knowledge of her sworn enemy's visit irked Odin, but nobody could blame her.
ちょっと待ってください。ただでさえ混乱しているところに魔王まで来てしまったら。
レタス、ここ一帯は地獄と化しますね。
That didn't seem to be an overstatement. Regret was speechless. There was already no time to waste. With this crisis on their plates, the goddesses could do all too little.
とにかく今は少しでも早くロキさんと連絡をつけることだと思います。
Duh! That was the first thing that they should have done! God, these guys are not very smart.
そうじゃな。じゃあスルトが来るという。
As if she now regretted spending so much divine energy, Odin stared at her palm. In the altar room, a third intruder had slipped past Yorm. It was Freya. She concealed her presence and looked all ready. Huh? She concealed her presence and looked all ready. Okay, already getting a full grasp of the situation. That actually, I think, is a correct sentence, but that is so weird to see. So she, like, you know, she concealed her presence and then she already looked, like, you know, already looked past Yorm. And then she already got the full grasp of the situation. This is such a weird way to say that sentence. Loki and Turka were captured, and she had to save them. But as to how, Freya could only think of one way. Destroy the page in Ymir's hand. If the curse was broken, Hel and Fenrir should regain their own will. What they might do after that was impossible to predict, however.
賭けになりますわね。ですが、このまま感化している以上。
Freya resolutely knocked an arrow and activated her invisibility spell. The invisible arrow would pierce the enemy before they could detect it. Freya spent ample time aiming, then let the arrow fly. Ymir was completely distracted. The arrow closed in on the page. Freya was sure it would hit. However,
少々爪が甘いようですね、イミル様。
suddenly, an umbrella deflected Freya's arrow. The invisibility spell broke. The arrow hit the stone wall and fell to the ground. The umbrella spun in the air and returned to its owner.
女神の気配に気づけないとは少々の慢心でしょうか。
Minia closed the umbrella and calmly saluted. She had stood in the passage behind Freya to her right. It seemed she hadn't been hiding, but only just arrived. Freya lost her perfect chance and bitterly bit her lip.
大ですわ。私としたことが後方の注意をおろそかにするなんて。
やあメニア、手厳しいね。でも助かったよ。ありがとう。
Ymir turned his relaxed smile toward Minia, then looked back toward the hidden goddess.
そこにいるのはフレイヤだね。名簿のページを狙うとはいい着眼点だ。でも残念だったね。運を私に味方しているらしい。
相変わらず嫌味な男ですわね。
Freya gave up and revealed herself. Loki and Turka were still captured. Knowing they would be used as hostages, Freya couldn't fight back.
フレイヤ姉さん。ごめんなさい、ティルカさん。しくじってしまいましたわ。
だが君がここにいるということはヨルムを退けたのだろう。大したものだよ。まあ無実とはいかなかったみたいだけどね。
Okay, now that this is actually where the story is going, I have absolutely no clue what is gonna happen. Okay.
余計なお世話ですわ。
Ymir even noticed Freya's fatigue. She made her irritation clear. In this situation, Ymir probably didn't even need the hostages in order to win. Freya hated to admit it, but she was faced with a powerful opponent.
メガネフレイヤ、武器を渡してもらいましょうか。
それは。
お二人の命が惜しくないのですか。まあ、私としてはどちらでもいいのですが。
She's bluffing. I don't think Loki is gonna die. Turka maybe, but I don't think Ymir probably wants to kill Loki.
わかりました。
Freya mournfully gave up her Brisingamen. Fuck, that's so hard to say. I hope I'm saying that right. Probably not. Minia took it without batting an eye, then strided up to Ymir. On the way there, she looked where Loki lay under Hell's foot.
無様ですね、ロキ様。その姿が反逆者の末路ですか。
God, I want to kill this girl. Minia.
妹も愚かな主に仕えたことをさぞ悔やんでいましょう。
Yeah, I don't want to torture her. I literally just want to kill her. She's so annoying. What an asshole of a girl. Have anything else to say, or is that it? Even in his disgraceful position, Loki gave Minia an assertive look. She showed her first inkling of displeasure.
まあ、いいでしょう。分をわきまえず反逆を企てた愚かしさをあなたはすぐには知ることになるでしょうから。
Minia looked back at Ymir.
それで手に入れたのでしょう、ミルさん。魔王陛下の求められし不法ユグドラシルの心臓を。
ああ、これのことだね。
Ymir didn't hesitate to show her the key. The key shouldn't be the heart though. Shouldn't the heart be inside Loki if that was the case? If that's only the key? Like a bird that found its prey, Minia narrowed her eyes.
確かにユグドラシルの心臓にそう言われます。
How does no one... No, Surt definitely knows that Loki has this. Why didn't he just take it? This is weird. Or wait. Did Loki get this on the first chapter when we actually visited? I don't know. I don't remember whether or not he got it. I thought that he already had it for a long time ago. No, he said that Sinmara gave this to him, so no. What he got on like the grounds for the family training area was Anvara, not the key. He got the key from hundreds of years ago. This is weird. So that key really was the heart of Yggdrasil. Not that he didn't believe Ymir, but the confirmation from the Dark Lord's secretary removed any room for doubt. The heart of Yggdrasil was the key that turned him into Vedrung. It was hiding in plain sight, long before the Secession War began. Loki already had the treasure. But why? That key was left to me by my mother. It's the heart of Yggdrasil? I guess there was no keyhole in Loki, so I guess it just unlocks people's powers or innate powers. That's the only like sense that would be happening right now. I legit thought that Loki for some reason had a keyhole in his heart. Kind of like fucking Kingdom Hearts having like weird ass keyholes everywhere in the world.
不思議でしょうがないって顔だね、ロキ。このことは100年も昔から定められていたことだったんだよ。
What?
イミルさん、あまり余計なことは。
まあいいじゃないか。ロキも何も知らないままというのはかわいそうだ。
Minya tried to stop him, but Ymir went on. What he said was a denial of Loki's entire purpose in life. Ymir gazed down at his victim from on high with the eyes of a victor.
違法はその昔女神シンモラによって魔界にもたらされたものさ。そして君に託された。
A goddess, huh? So she defected to the demon realm.
シンモラが女神？なんですって？それではロキさんは。
So I'm a half-breed.
そう。女神シンモラと魔族ファルバの間に生まれた根血児だ。お二人は当時国力を疲弊していた帝国とユグドラ州の和睦のために結婚された。
Yeah, see, he said Farba again. I don't know why the game actually doesn't want you to see the word Farba a lot. The only time we actually got name drop Farba on text is actually during the 8th scene with Hell, I think. For some reason, they really did not want to say Farba's name in text. But like I said, I kind of got spoiled and saw that Farba was one of the bosses that we can actually fight in the game. Though I'm not sure whether or not that's, you know, the route I'm currently doing or not.
政略結婚だったと言いますの。
最初はね。だけどあろうことか、シンモラ殿とファルバ殿は本気で愛し合うようになったんだよ。そしてロキが生まれた。
ロキが女神と魔族の間に生まれた子供。
It can't be.
この事実は醜聞として伏せられました。女神の腹から生まれた子供が魔王陛下の後を継ぐなど土台無理な話だったのですよ、ロキ様。
Minya's tone had an air of derision to it. He had been distanced from the imperial family all this time for that reason. Loki never knew the truth over the whole century he burned with vengeance over his circumstances. It was the height of comedy.
お二人の関係はやがて帝国とユグドラシルの関係が再び悪化すると邪魔なものになった。ファルバ殿はシンモラ殿の身を案じて地上に
There we go.
したのだけど、それだけでは気が済まなかったのだろうね。彼は息子のロキを連れて亡命を企てたんだよ。
Then my father's treason was...
そうさ、討伐にはおじい様自ら乗り出された。そしてファルバ殿は助立ちに現れたシンモラ殿ともども打ち果たされたというわけだ。
Is he really dead though? If he is dead, then that means that sometime later in the story we're probably gonna try to resurrect him. Mother was already killed? The inexplicable treason that led to his father's execution, never once being allowed to see his mother since her imprisonment. His questions of many years were easily cleared up, leaving Loki at a loss for words. If his father ran off to a goddess, Loki didn't even know what to think.
ロキ、まだ幼かった君は罪を許され帝国に連れ戻された。ユグダラ州の心臓は死に際のシンモラ殿が君に託されたものだと聞いているよ。
Is that why I was left alive? If possible, he wanted Ymir to say it wasn't true. Pitifully enough, Loki looked to him dependently. Sinmara was no longer of this world, and his mixed blood meant he would never be accepted in the demon realm. He was dismayed. He could tolerate a century of being trodden upon, but this inescapable fate was quick to tear him down. Not one to let up, Ymir continued.
ユグドラ州の心臓はウユージュ大陸を作り出すほどの力を秘めた巨峰だ。かつてのオーディンもその膨大な神力をこの鍵に込めたと言われている。魔王陛下もその強大な力を求められた。だけど どういうわけか君に託された秘宝はその力の多くを枯渇させてしまっていてね。
So yes, they all knew that we had this key. So what brought the power back on?
かつての輝きを取り戻すには相応の手順を踏まねばならない。今回の王位継承争いはそのためにしつらえられた舞台だったんだよ。
Wow, this is so elaborate. What kind of pissed me off though was the fact that Minia was actually surprised that Cert wanted to come over to Yggdrasil. I guess she was surprised the fact that Cert wanted to come here himself and not wait for Ymir maybe. Because either way, if Ymir went to Cert or if Loki went to Cert, the key would have been in his palm anyways, right? I kinda hate the fact that Minia was shocked there because it seemed that, you know, I guess it was a red herring. Fuck, I fell for it too. Ymir looked down at the key in his hand and smirked. His smile contained a hint of sympathy for Loki.
ベズルングの力を駆使して君はユグドラシルでの戦いをくぐり抜けた。四季の女神は絶対神、それに私を含む王位継承候補との戦い、そのために秘宝はかつての力を取り戻していった。
You know, I was gonna do an H scene after this, but I feel like this episode is mostly gonna be story. I think it's been an hour of just the story non-stop. I've been recording for an hour and 30 minutes, by the way.
もっともその反動で持ち主には相応の負担がかかっているはずだけどね。覚えがあるんじゃないかい、ロキ?
Well, the unplaceable pain he was feeling must have been caused by overuse of the key. Loki noticed he didn't even have the composure to hide his feelings.
無理もない。一人の体に世界を読み込んでいるも同然なのだからね。
Well, I guess that makes sense.
とはいえ、それくらい御せぬようでは支配者としての器足りえないのだけど。
Ymir spoke as if he'd be able to take it. He implied Loki didn't deserve to have the key, making him all the more miserable. In the end, was he simply a clown given a power he wasn't worthy of? The timid insect saw the truth of things, losing confidence he was ever winning to begin with. Had I lost from the very start? If so, then I see. I was told my mother was in prison just so I'd...
ロキ、生時間がいいというのも辛いね。気づかなくていいことまで気づいてしまう。
Ymir confirmed Loki's suspicions. His constant abuse in his youth, his sole wish to save his mother and restore his family, and the desire for vengeance and conquest that it created. It was all manufactured. Man, this is definitely very difficult to, you know, like take in. If I was Loki, I don't know, man. I feel like I would probably just be better off dying. Not gonna lie. But hopefully Loki is not me, right? Hopefully. Even his ambitions were deliberately instilled within him. Yeah, everything that he was, his very sense of being was fabricated. It was all plotted ever since he was born. Or at least not when he was born, but you know, ever since he was, like cast away from the throne. He was dancing in the palm of their hands. The cruelty of reality hammered away at Loki.
イミル様はロキ様が途中でくじけてしまわぬ。その時々で手を差し伸べておられましたね。
Are you serious?
それが必要だったかはわからないけどね。ロキの再起は本物だった。私の助けなしでもここまでたどり着いたのだから。
Your compliment doesn't really make me feel any better, though. The consolation wasn't so reassuring to Loki at the moment. Ymir shrugged and turned away like he was done talking.
さて、茶番だったとはいえ、これで王位継承争いは私の勝ちということでいいのかな?
You know, maybe if I was Loki, I'd probably just go all in with the revenge. And probably put everything... Loki's probably despairing right now, right? But rather than despairing, I probably would put all my feelings or emotions into anger instead. Then again, he's not able to do anything right now, but you know, this is just something in my heart. I'm not giving up yet. I still want to kill these guys, you know? Something along those lines.
はい、魔王陛下もお喜びになりましょう。劇場はもうすぐそこまで来ています。魔王陛下はきっと首を長くしてお待ちのことでしょう。
The auditorium! Dark Lord Surt was coming to Yggdrasil. Even as stupefied as he was, Loki was shocked. But Ymir and Minya didn't even look at him.
イミル様、私とご同道願いますか?
Yeah, they definitely don't really care about us anymore. So, I guess what I'm probably gonna do if I was in Loki's shoes is probably feign despair. Yeah.
ああ、もちろんだよ。ユグドラシルの心臓を手にした時代の魔王。これでおじい様も認めてくださる。
そうですね。
Ymir was confident the throne was his. Minya gave him a suspicious smile. They attended each other to the secret passage past the altar. So, even Ymir is probably gonna be, like, used up and be thrown away by Surt from what Minya was implying there. On the way out, Ymir remembered something and turned around. Damn, now I feel super idiotic from actually going the evil route. The goddesses could have actually become our friends and actually beat up these whole, like, you know, the demon realm. And I made them submit to me. I feel sort of dumb now.
ロキ、最後に君の意志を聞かせてもらうよ。私は君の能力を高く買っている。それは嘘じゃない。だから選択の自由をあげるんだ。
Come on, give me a choice. What?
魔王となった私に仕え、支えてほしいんだよ。君の手腕を新たな時代の知性に振るってくれると嬉しい。
I do think he's actually being truthful here. But come on, Ymir. Don't you want to kill Surt?
君がうなずけば命の保証をしよう。ここにいる女神の安全もね。
Wow, this is a very good proposition, to be honest. This is... If I get a choice to actually choose this, this is going to be very hard to actually, you know... Like, it's going to be very difficult to just, like, slap his hand away after he's giving us this choice. But I don't know whether or not to trust this guy. That's the thing. Ymir... He's probably gonna force me into a contract of like, you know, servitude.
卑怯な。ロキ。
Ymir was sly. He revealed everything to put Loki at his weakest, then used that chance to ask for subservience. In his current state, it seemed likely that Loki would give in. Yeah, it would be very difficult to actually slap his hand, for sure. That potential danger made Turka call his name. Loki decided to... I refuse! Submit to you just to survive? Not on your life! Maybe this is because I got so many rain points. That's why Loki chose this for me. Because it felt like that would be a critical choice, right? But because my rain points are probably off the charts, maybe if I kept it balanced, I would probably have a choice there. But maybe because I don't have it, it's actually choosing for me. Loki crawled on the ground, raising only his head to glower at Ymir. I actually don't know whether or not this is glower or glower, by the way. This verb or this word comes out a lot when I was reading it on the H scenes, but I still have no idea how to say it. At this stage, just where was Loki's willpower coming from? Even if the entirety of his upbringing was set up for him, Loki's unyielding will to rebel prompted his response.
そうか、残念だよ、ロキ。
Ymir shook his head. It seemed like he expected the answer, judging from his forlorn smile.
それじゃあロキ、これで本当にお別れだ。私の予想を超えて成長した君と戦うのは楽しかったよ。
Wait, he's still not going to kill us?
イミル様、お急ぎください。
Yeah, he's just leaving us.
分かっている。エル、
Oh.
ロキたちの始末は頼んだよ。
Okay. Ymir turned around and finally left Loki's sight. The loser gets beheaded in this world of survival of the fittest. Loki felt the sight blade against his neck. Knowing death could come at any moment, he closed his eyes.
こんなところでダメ、まだ死ねない。真相さえあれば。
Turka struggled, while Freya cursed her lack of a weapon. Hel and Fenrir stoically prepared to execute them, and... Wow, this is such plot convenience. What? The voice came from right above Loki's head. Hel's sight-wielding hand trembled. She looked anguished as she fought against the cursed book's control. On the verge of cutting off Loki's head, she desperately tried to resist. Hel!
どうやらイミル兄さんが離れたことで支配が弱まったみたいね。ほんの少しだけど。
Sure, sure. Plot convenience, alright.
フェンリル、あなた。
At least they instantly try to explain why it happened, right? That's what I like about this game. This game actually explains a lot of the stuff that I thought was inconvenient at times very fast. Fenrir returned to her senses and loosened her whip. Turka was perplexed as she backed away from Fenrir. Loki also finally got away from Hel and turned to face her. Just then, Hel's good hand burst into flames. The fire began to spread across her body. Hel used her other hand to suppress the flames. They heard burning flesh as smoke billowed from her hand. Hel tried to hide her agony, her sweaty face looking at Loki.
どうやらこの呪いはイミルに逆らおうとすると発動するものらしいな。私としたこと男に騙されるなんて焼きが回ったわ。けどね、このまま従うなんて真っ平なのよ。
So are these two actually gonna die now? Fenrir's body ignited too. But Fenrir had the power of ice. If she kept cooling the cursed flame, she could hold out to an extent. Cooling both herself and Hel would likely drain her dark energy fast. But she didn't seem keen on following Ymir's orders.
あなたたちどういうつもりですの？イミルのやり方は気に入らない。裏から糸を引き、鉱石だけ持っていくなど、私は認めん。私を退けたのはロキの実力だ。
Hel, do you accept me? Oh, sorry, you accept me. Right when Loki could hardly believe in himself, Hel's words left a strong impression. Ymir might have gotten the results, but his route there was laid by Loki. The praise of her rival resonated in Loki's heart.
急げ、ロキ。まだ戦いは終わっていない。けれどヘル、このままじゃあなたたちが。大丈夫。スバティの霊気を使えばそれなりには持つわよ。ここは見逃してあげるから、あんたたちは早くイミル兄さんの持つページを壊してきなさい。これは交換条件よ。
Fenrir. As long as he could escape this dilemma, Hel and Fenrir had no power to hold him accountable. Well aware she was in no position to make demands, Fenrir hardly smiled and tried to see them off. Loki's answer was, "Just wait, you two. I'll beat Ymir and be back soon. Then you'll serve me instead." So I assume everything past the, past the Loki's answer was ... Past these things are actually choices that are already made based on the points that I've already garnered throughout the whole six chapters. So we probably could have actually leave these girls to die, probably.
それでこそロキちゃんよ。
At least I think. I don't know though. Loki looked away from Hel and Fenrir to eye the passage Ymir and Minia left through. Let's go! Turka! Freya!
わかったわ。お供いたしますわ。
The goddesses ran with Loki.
なんやこりゃ
Why is this girl not being controlled? When Yorm crawled out of the cave, she saw a massive, sky-obscuring silhouette. She had several arrow wounds from Freya, but she toughed it out as only she could. Loki and the goddesses were in the Apocalypse base. She went outside to report this to the other princesses, but wasn't expecting to find what she did.
あれっておじい様の劇場？嘘。なんでユグドラシルに来てんの？
The significance of Dark Lord Surt entering the battlefield was something even Yorm understood. The giant, island-sized ship made her forget what she was doing for a while, but the oddities didn't end there.
何？
The battlefield below her began to rumble. The explosions and screams sounded like they belonged in hell, covering the wasteland. Yorm didn't realize the flagship was carpet bombing the field until a while later. The fuck? At first, she thought the auditorium was attacking Loki's army, or maybe it was getting the apocalypse out the way. But the right answer was none of those things. Was it just trying to destroy Yggdrasil? The auditorium was indiscriminately bombing everyone. Not just Loki's army and the apocalypse, but the Imperial army was caught in the blasts. It was like the entire surface was being razed. The cannon fire blew away everything in sight without mercy.
何なのよ。何が起こってるのよ。ヘルお姉ちゃん。
What is Sir doing? Hoping to meet up with Hel, Yorm frantically searched for the Imperial Army's camp. Hel and Fenrir were facing peril in the cave she just left, but that possibility never crossed her mind. And the idea of that dilemma being brought about by Ymir would never even occur to her. An unknown sensation throbbed in her mind. Yorm held her head and feverishly stumbled forward.
エミル、お兄ちゃんの声。劇場を攻撃するの？
So I guess Surt wanted to actually, I don't know, wage war on Ymir. So what, is Surt saying that he doesn't want Ymir to... Well, I think Ymir would probably be smart enough to not hand over the key to Surt in the first place. So I don't know, maybe they're both trying to outsmart each other and try to attack before both of them are ready.
わかった。
Yorm mumbled and looked overhead, up at the giant flagship.
ルキ様、ご無事でしたか？
Yes. Fina smiled with relief. Loki vaguely nodded in return. When Loki and the goddesses left the Apocalypse cave, the situation outside had shifted. The auditorium bombed the surface as it approached. Monsters and humans alike fled in all directions. It was a hellish sight. Even getting back to the Sinmara took some precise timing. If they had made contact just a little later, the Sinmara would most likely have been caught in the blasts. Ymir and Media had undoubtedly headed to the auditorium. If he could, he'd want to go after them right away, but... Fina, did you know the whole time? Fina had been his mate for ages, but now, Loki began to view her with doubt.
何のことでしょうか？オーディン様。
なんじゃキリカ。わらわの顔に何かついておるか？
Well, Odin knew about Turka for sure, and about Sinmara. But it's not like we ever questioned Odin about Sinmara in the first place, though. So, she's technically not lying. Not sure about Fina. Turka also looked at her mother inquisitively. The connection between Turka and Sinmara that Ymir had implied lingered in her thoughts. And Fina had served Loki tirelessly in the palace. How much of the truth did she know? If her sister knew the entire plan, the possibility that Fina had the same knowledge while she was raising Loki was perfectly plausible.
ロキ様、何があったのですか？イミル様との決着は？
Ymir got away. He should be on the auditorium now. Loki finally brought himself to say something. Fina didn't quite look content, but as a competent staff officer, she reported on what happened while Loki was away. The abrupt breakdown of the Apocalypse and the Imperial Army. Most of the changes were what Loki presumed while he was in the cave. Now, the Auditorium and Ymir's remaining airships were firing at each other. Loki didn't know what happened after Ymir left with the heart of Yggdrasil, but there must have been some strife between him and Surt. I'll describe our next operation. Loki swiftly got his thoughts in order, shook off his hesitation, and spoke clearly. Everyone present turned their attention toward him. Turka, Odin, the goddesses, and Fina. What happened to Garm, by the way? Feels like he's actually not in this scene at all. When he saw their eyes burning with a sense of duty, any ideas about retreating vanished from his mind. He had a promise with Hel and Fenrir to keep as well. Letting Ymir get away without a bit of comeuppance, that's probably how you say that, I hope, would hurt Loki's reputation. The Sinmara will attack the Auditorium. We'll board the enemy flagship and do battle there. Our target is Ymir, and if the situation calls for it, Dark Lord Surt as well. Naturally. If the key fell into Surt's hands, we really have to fight him, don't we? Yeah, it's kind of weird that Odin was surprised about this. He should know that the key is in the demon realm. I guess he didn't think that Loki's transformation was because of the key. Did she see us actually changing to Vedrung? Or, you know, did she see us use the key? I forgot, actually. That might be a plot hole. There's no time to explain. But one thing's for sure. If Surt gets that key, Yggdrasil could fall. Loki's grave tone told the goddesses enough for them to turn pale. Loki had only ever used a fraction of the key's power. He didn't know what Surt planned to do with it, but it couldn't be anything good. Avoiding that would demand a confrontation. Fina saw Loki's determination and gave up on arguing. The goddesses also looked tense over the brutal battle to come. I hope I'm not too late in making them into dark goddesses. I want you to provide support with Gungnir until we can board the Auditorium. Turka, I want you to invade with me. Do what you will. Some doubts still nagged at Loki, but there was no time for that. While Fina was feeling relieved, Loki delivered orders to the other goddesses. Thor, meet up with Garm and lead the fight on the surface. Regret, help the Apocalypse evacuate. If you restore their faith, I'm sure it'll help some. Also, Freya. Shit, does that mean I can't use you? Is this gonna be chapter 7 once we board the Auditorium? I actually don't know. Or is this gonna be like more story? Because if this is gonna be more story, I might have to cut it after we get to the 2-hour mark. But I guess we'll see. I might make this into a longer episode. I'll probably try to finish this. I don't really like cliffhangers in stories. That's why I don't make them. Unless I'm cutting up the videos on YouTube because of, you know, like 4-hour recording time. Don't worry. I'll get your divine gear back. You're coming with me too. Freya bitterly accepted her role as an attendant. The plan demanded they make haste. With everyone's positions decided, they swiftly got into action. The Auditorium continued to cast a dark shadow on the ground. Attack the auditorium. Okay. So all of Ymir's forces are gone. So I think I actually just need to lower his... I don't know. I don't know what the requirements was for Ymir to actually get triggered at the event there. Maybe I actually just need to attack him and not attack the sisters. I don't know. Either way, we got the auditorium here. And it's a fortress. Let's take a look at what they got. But we're probably gonna end the episode after I do an H scene. I think we're gonna end with one H scene. There's no way I can do more. There's no fucking way. So they have golems. And they got Minia. Absolute Cure, Sap Attack, Demon Medic, Defense Only, Spell Barrier, Defense Tactics. So she's kind of like Fina. Yeah, a much more support type than Fina. She doesn't have evade or parry, so she's very liable to just get one shot. Interestingly enough. And those are all 4 of the units. Everything is just Minia. Doesn't seem too hard. Ah, shit, I can't even do an H scene. Fuck. Well, I guess we're gonna have to call the episode short. I forgot that after a story segment, all your H scenes kind of reset for some weird reason. I wish they didn't do that. That's so weird. But oh well. That was kind of anticlimactic. And anticlimactic is actually correct, by the way. I don't know who worded anticlimactic as anticlimactic, but it seems like anticlimactic is actually the correct pronunciation. But yeah, I guess this is it. Guess we're gonna have to finish off this episode, or this chapter on the next episode. Man, next week can't come soon enough. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Give this video a like if you guys like it. Sub if you guys haven't. Patreon will be getting these episodes early access along with everything uncensored. But surprisingly, no H scenes this episode. When the story gets going, it does get going for a long time in this game, which I really like. It has a very good balance of gameplay and story and H scenes. Well, the H scenes you can probably just do it whenever you want, which is why I say it's a good balance. But yeah, also, if you guys are on YouTube but haven't gone on Patreon just yet, go become a free member on the Patreon, because I'll be putting first episode previews of future playthroughs. See you guys. Sorry about the, you know, sound interface or audio interface glitching out.